We have a council that has a lot of personality problems, and that's been going on for years.
The man is already dead. What more can you do to him? What more can you do? Have respect for the family.
Philip is live in Trenton, where officials, including the mayor, just wrapped up a news conference.
Morning details extremely slim out here in Trenton.
Mercer County Homicide Task Force is investigating. The Trenton Police Director spoke on the city's mayor at a news conference this morning.
It's Jersey's capital city, where a venomous clash between city council members and the mayor has left the town of 90,000 without a budget since the end of April.
You know, the guys that are still hanging on to it, there's a reason for it. And, you know, dirty is dirty.
Yeah.
Either way.
We have to look at the shootings as potential future homicides.
That is helping the young men and the young ladies, and they do want to change. If there's anything to help our children, save our babies, to save our streets, and for us to be able to walk the streets again and be safe, I'm all for it.
I just wanted to clear that up because I ain't want to have no confusion, you feel me? I was born September 86, you feel me? When my uncle passed, I was still 17. I ain't turned 18 yet, you feel me? So I was 18 in 04. If it sound like the dates might be off, that's just because of the time of the year it was back then. I've been doing the car shows in Jersey probably like over 20 years, shit. I know at least 20 years because I started going in 05, me and my homeboy Nitty. And they used to have everything there. That's where I first seen them Newport sneakers from. The Newport joints that look like Air Force Ones. If you ain't see them shit's hard. His nephew was not selling those. And there was a whole little exhibit. Fucking a Knight Rider car. I remember all that. Knight Rider car, all the little concept cars from all the shows and shit was there. Franklin's from New York. Dipset, Duke the God producer. It was a whole lot of people that used to always come to the spots, performances from all the rappers. Like the car shows used to be big back in the day because they had the performances with them, you feel me? And it was also people that were showing off things just besides cars, like the sneakers I was just mentioning, and all kind of custom shit, man. I can't even think. It was just all kind of custom stuff people were selling back then, handmade shit. And it was like a museum in there, you know what I mean? Museum of cars and a museum of ideas, you feel me? That's how those car shows used to be back then and shit. I mean, sometimes you gotta let some shit go. Sometimes you gotta pick up on some things. You know what I mean? Be like that. I mean, but I ain't sit down with y'all and do this just to do it. You know what I mean? I'm qualified to speak on this. You know what I mean? You can go ask my homeboys that's in the prison. And, you know what I mean? All them people you asked me about from back in the day and all that. You go ask them. I'm qualified to speak about, you know what I mean, my team and my life. You feel me? I'm qualified. We was active when we was young.
The worst weather we ever had, the blizzard of 96. The snow was up to my chest. A lot of people was without power, but my mother held it down. We barely noticed. We ran around and played until our hands went numb.
I remember that vividly. Hey, yo, that shit was up to the cars. And I remember because my sister was so young. I think I was 10 then. I was 10 or going on 10, and my sister was 8 or 7. That's crazy. We ran around in the snow, acting up. When you kids, you don't really notice the struggle and shit, you know what I mean? You just, seeing your mom do what moms do. So we was outside ripping, running in and out, you know what I mean, till a nigga hands went numb, came in, got warm, ate. Listen, 96 was hell. They had it all over the newspapers, on the news. It just constantly snowed. It just never stopped snowing. I remember that shit. Yeah, when I was younger, my mother always had us reading history. We come from a city where history played a big part in the country, so I think that's just how it is with a lot of people that was born and raised here. Shit, I was going as far as I can go after I had did my own little family history and, African history. I was trying to dig deep in the history of my town. I went down like to the library and to the college, a couple historical sites and reading up, but I was trying to go further back past the George Washington times and all of that. It was natives living all in this area. A lot of people always ask me if it was Native Americans here. It was the Lenapes. The Lenape tribe inhabited the entire Trenton area. The Lenape tribe was also part of a nation, the Delaware Nation. That nation stretched from here all the way to Oklahoma. It seemed like the Lenapes had the entire New Jersey region to themselves. Even 2 or 3 states that surrounded New Jersey, the Lenapes had a stronghold. The historical records show me that they was here at least 10,000 years. 10,000 years before the Europeans even thought to arrive. The Lenape also shared this area with the Lenape tribe, Lenape with an R, with both tribes having villages and strongholds surrounding the Trenton area, with mostly Lenapes to the north and Lenapes to the south, but there were also Lenapes in the southern parts of New Jersey as well. And it just so happened that the Trenton area was a halfway meeting point, so it was a place of reverence for both the Lenape and the Lenape tribe. But the first person to settle here was Milan Stacy in 1679. It was rediscovered on June 3rd, 1719. George Washington and his army won their first victory here. This was December 26, 1776, the Revolutionary War. It was stamped the capital of the United States in 1784. Our entire city got some of the country's most famous historical sites, like the Battle of the Monument at the legendary 5 Points, which is the tallest historical structure that we got in Trenton.
Trenton, New Jersey, the state capital where government is big business, but far from the only one. Like most cities in this wondrous area, Trenton is proud of its past, but prouder yet of its future.
But the old spots that was popping out here, like drive-in movie theater, skating rink, city gardens. But the one thing you never really hear about is the talent and celebrity talent that come out of Trenton. And when I say come out of Trenton, I mean they was born here. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of big names. I've always been the type of person that paid attention to that. You know, I've always been motivated, unfazed, work hard, gotta do what we gotta do. So I guess you could say, of course, I'm gonna recognize those who thought the same way in the past. Hell yeah, my mother, she was gonna work for the state, but she chose not to. She was my mother worked at the Marriott, Colonial Cadillac for years. My mother was the secretary at Colonial Cadillac for years before I got older and shit like that, you feel me? Mercer County based, no matter what it was, you feel me? Like my family, they Trenton people, except on my father's side. Sister used to always be pointing them out and seeing them, but we used to have these big bike races every year. It was the 10 speeds. They would have huge bike races every year. There'd be 400 or 500 bikes. They would scale the whole city for like, there was a few days they would have it actually. And they would be scaling through the whole city all day. It was a big event. It was like Boston with the Boston races. It was the same thing, but it was all bikes. Me and my sister used to come out on the porch when we would stand on West State and be watching them fly up and down. That's a big thing we had in the city, for the city, for some years. I don't know if they still do it now, but from my childhood in the 90s, all the way up probably like to the early 2000s, they used to have them every year. I think most of the people who was racing, some South Jersey, and it's spread out from all the area. I honestly don't know where the bike races was from. That event was big. It was an every year thing. It would be on TV. I think the bike races used to start from South Trenton, and they would swing around. Like they would do start down by the waterfront park I was telling you all about, and they would block off the highway, and they would take the whole highway down to the complete other side of town by Cadwater Park, and they would go through Cadwater Park and then ride down the main street, West State, all the way down, and just all the main streets that was in the town, they would just go on like a circle, like a huge lap. Just go around, and they would do that shit for hours and hours. When I got into fashion, the fashion in town was starting to pick up. We had Blickers, the store Blickers. They used to do the custom shirts. That's where I got the custom Bugs Bunny joint made at and shit with the big ass chain and shit on it. Blickers used to do all the custom tees and airbrushes. And then we had the store downtown. I can't remember the name, but they have all the iceberg, all the Rockaware, and the NBA leathers with the patches and all the teams all over it and all of that. They had that sitting on the corner down by where the bank at now, you feel me? And so when the fashion was starting to get picked up, that's where everybody would go to them spots. And that stood for a minute. They ain't closed down to like almost 05, 04, and then we ain't see that no more. In the Hood and Wilbur section, they have some events in East State Park every year for the little kids. I took my daughter and my stepdaughter out there a couple of times. They do the face painting and had the music with the bouncy houses and all of that for the kids. They do it every, so I know what I mean. That's something good for the city. I see a lot of the brothers and sisters bring the kids out there and just let them run free and shit. That's something for the hood to do because there don't be a lot going on in the city no more. So when we have these events and them book bag giveaways and, you know, trunk or treats and all of that, that's good for the kids because there's not a lot of events for them to do, and we need more events and more sports stuff going on and more carnivals coming back for the younger kids, you know what I mean? From 14, 13 and down for the little kids so they can have something to do. I had ways with everybody, you feel me? Everybody out here really moving on their own, doing their little 1-2, holding their jobs down, taking care of their family, you feel me? That's the best way to prosper now because shit, time be ticking like this, it be happening out of nowhere, you feel me? Like, you gotta do it for the right reasons, you feel me? No matter what it is, you gotta make sure you do it for the right reasons. And, you know what I mean? That's all everybody doing. They ain't gotta do it, they ain't doing it. You feel me? No matter what it is, straight up. A lot of brothers just came over doing 10-year bids, 7-year bids, 9-year bids, and they still young, you feel me? Still young men, you feel me? I mean, a lot of them I had just met when they was coming home from their bids. Like, that's how long they was down, you feel me? Like, that's how they be doing this out here, you feel me? But nah, like, a lot of brothers, you see them, everybody got kids now, niggas got their cribs, their careers, their jobs. Now, I mean, don't nobody really be hanging out all day no more. Niggas is living life as grown men. I mean, salute to the whole Wilbur section family. I mean, they know what's up. My mother eventually gravitated to her father's side of the family. My great-grandfather Hook, like the patriarch, started the family business. A few of my uncles and aunts worked for General Motors. Back then, that's where a lot of black families had work, made good money. You could build a family, get a house, start scratch and really make something. My family went through a lot in the 90s, man. We lost a lot of people. That was little Tony and my Aunt Jean. Yeah, their house had caught on fire. I think they said eventually it was due to the video game wires and the extension cords, everything being plugged up the way it was. They was immediate family. Again, once again, my Uncle Jerry, he was the one that, he tried his best to save them because the house was right directly behind his backyard, the way my family houses were set up. On like maybe 6 houses that was right there on the block out there. Those was my grandmother, my Uncle Jerry, my Uncle Ro, which was my grandmother's brother, and directly behind Jerry, that's where my Aunt Jean and them lived at. Fire was so strong when he kicked the door in that he couldn't even go through the house. And you know, we lost two factors in our family behind that. Yeah, Casino, that was my heart in the family, man. Casino used to do a lot for my mother and a lot of my family relatives. He was one of them. He was from Roger Gardens over there at West Trenton. And they found him in his car. They said he killed himself. They found him in his car, slumped over. Nah, my grandma stayed at, my great-grandmother, where she stayed at while I was living at for a little bit. It's right there on the, like, the cusp of you on the Trenton, if you want to call it. It's like right there on the borderline. Like, they call the area dog patch. You feel me? And it's a lot. It's because there's always wild dogs running around here. It's always like some loose dogs. It's a lot of factories and a lot of warehouses that sit in that area. It's like it's always dogs running back there. And nigga have been chased by dogs a lot of times. That shit ain't no myth. Like, you go walking through there, or you on a four-wheeler or a dirt bike or something, you gonna see them wild dogs standing around there, walking around there. That's just how that area is. Like, don't get it confused. It's a nice suburban area. It's a lot of nice houses in that area, but them dogs be around here. That's just what it is. But yeah, that's why I said we used to walk far when I used to be with my relative Watt. I used to grab him and we used to walk all the way down like Calhoun Street, closer towards downtown. This before Ballers was there. Ballers on Hanover, this before that was there. We would just go hit all the little spots, little shops, or where the tables were set at. Niggas had all the music. We had Martin Luther King swimming pool, of course. Father Rocco up there by the projects, Dolly Holmes. Bubbles down by Perry Street. That was probably the one that was smacked the most, was Bubbles. Bubbles was the most lit. Everybody used to go there. And Hetz was out east. That shit probably more crowded nowadays. Like nowadays, they remodeled the one that's on the east side in between East Trenton and Wilbur section. So that one always crowded now. We used to swim at all the spots when we was younger, my nigga. Like, we used to walk down there, you feel me? Shit, around May of 1994, the city opened up the Waterfront Park. It then became Arm & Hammer Park. Now it's called Trenton Thunder Park. When it first opened up, during our years, they would take the students there just to go see what it was like, to get a feel of it. And a lot of families used to go there from the town and through around the township. Believe it or not, they had a lot of games there in the past that was kind of lit. It's a minor league, you feel me? It's set directly next door to Kathmandu nightclub. So certain nights, if they would have games during certain years, it would be lit. The whole parking lot, the club, the stadium, gave it that big city feel, you know what I'm saying? Like going to an Eagles game. I met them right after my uncle got killed. Uncle Huntley, I told you about my Uncle Huntley, you feel me? Like, growing up, he used to work for General Motors, but, you know what I mean, something had happened, and when he stopped working for General Motors and shit, like I said, he took care of my mother's father's, that whole side of the family, you feel me? Like, handling business, you know what I mean? Paying people bills, coming to their rescue financially, you know what I mean? Taking family members back and forth to the Bahamas. He got killed in the end of 2004 by three dudes. They said they think it was trying to be blood or was blood. Now I mean, I don't know what set they was a part of or trying to be part of. But you know, they came in there, him and my relative West Coast was at the spot. And they came running in there, you know what I mean? They robbed him and he fought back and he ended up getting shot and he died. You know what I mean? And they got caught. And when they got caught, they told on each other, you feel me? It's like when you grow up in a family where everybody ain't really on that, you know what I mean? You got that one family member that just be up on everything that you be up on and know about all the shits, you know what I mean? That be your go-to person, you feel me? You know what I mean? I miss that shit. Getting us up early on the weekends, Columbus Market, like, it was them times, you know what I mean? 3-4 classic Benzes in the parking lot in this motherfucking garage and shit in the lot. 3-4 Benzes, vintage joints, classic, you feel me? Like somebody really working for something, working hard for what they got. No matter how they doing it, they working hard, you feel me? So now, I mean, that's when I learned, now, I mean, that ended it for me even thinking about being a jack boy. That wasn't even an option, seeing my uncles like that. And then the shit that had happened to him, you feel me? Like to this day, that shit don't sit right with me, you feel me? Like running around doing this, violating the wrong type of people, you feel me? Like, we don't rock with that. Like, I wanted my family to see that it was a difference, you know what I mean? I didn't want them to think that I joined the same crew, you know what I mean? The same clique that, you know, just put my family through this turmoil, you feel me? Like, all my relatives that was my age, you know what I mean? They ain't know nothing about gangs and shit like that, you feel me? So, you know, once I explained to them everything, you know what I mean? The difference with the, you know, the sets and the coasts and all of that, like, they felt a lot better, you feel me? And on and take accountability if you're wrong for something, you feel me? That's what this life shit about. Like nowadays, like the younger ones, they need something to do because that's how they start falling into getting into a lot of shit at night, or they just work their jobs and shit, and then they move somewhere else. You feel me? Like that's why people get that feeling where they just want to work and just move away because there don't be nothing around. You feel me? Like we gotta start playing a part because we at the age now where it's all up to us to see what we could do to have events here in the city. You feel me? Get the metal detectors, get the cameras, whatever it take. You feel me? Just to try to show people that we're going to keep it safe for them. But we need spots for kids to go and younger teenagers because I got kids growing up and they be in and out the city, you feel me? And they need stuff to do too, shit. It's all the same. Everybody had it hard in some type of way, some different, you feel me? I mean, like even in my teenage years, all the work, you hear me going to work and all that, I had to walk to them spots or catch the bus, you feel me? Some jobs I had was so early that the buses weren't even running, you feel me? I was walking 2-3 miles to work, you feel me? Like this real talk, bro. Like real talk. These are all facts. Like walking to work, feel me? All them young ones, y'all try to be straight up with y'all parents, you feel me? Because y'all gonna need to be there till y'all 18. Don't feel like you too grown and you know want to run out in the streets when you 15, 16 because nobody want to see the kids and the younger ones going through that, you feel me? So now I mean, just be 100, keep your head down. Your parents be talking, keep your head down. Don't even say nothing. They just talking, you feel me? Let them get it out. You feel me? Straight up. Then when you get 18, you can bust your own moves and get your own crib, your first apartment. Now I mean, save up your money so when you get 18, you get your own shit. You feel me? But we need our younger ones because they next up behind us. You feel me? Straight up. Cause back when I was younger and shit, going through what you're going through, you really young, you ain't really paying attention. You just bouncing around, staying with people and staying the night here and hanging with friends over here. Now I mean, his pops ain't never complained because we was doing a lot and going to all these places on the weekends and he would drop us off and pick us up, and he ain't never complained and give us no problems. You know what I mean? Let me stay there throughout the weeks or whatever, you know what I mean? Back and forth, us hanging out with girls and bringing girls there and all that. He was always cool, you feel me? And Yasmin and all them too, because when I started staying out there, I was really going back and forth with my earth and arguing a lot and going to work and walking everywhere I had to go. Where I was working at was way up on Olden Avenue, you feel me? So I was miles every day. Every day. I was young, you feel me? So they ain't never complained letting us stay there, going to school, going to work. Her and Asia, they started having parties there every weekend in their basement. We started even having our own parties out there. And Asia used to DJ and shit, you know what I mean? DJ Isis used to DJ, and me and B would set the whole spot up. We did that for some months. So yeah, in them years, his family was right there from like B100, just the whole high school years and shit, you know what I mean? I was extra. I was a third wheel to their family, you know what I mean? And they never had no problems with it, you know what I mean? They like family to me, straight up. That's just one story out of a million, you know how it go. I hear that shit really started with Kathmandu, you know what I mean? All of the Maxines and the names and all of that I mentioned, those are dope spots, but Kathmandu is like the pinnacle of all this shit. You know what I mean? They sit by the water. They got little palm trees down there. Everybody from the town, if you of age, you've been to Kathmandu before. You know, that's like the pinnacle of this club shit, but that eventually stopped. Kathmandu had a strong run in our generation though, bro. Like early 20-teens, right after 2010, it was lit there. Club 88 was a wave, but I ain't never make it down there. The Divine Studio, that's one over on Hazel Avenue, Al Ewing. Old boy on Brunswick that had one. My boy Big Steve, he used to have a studio in his basement over on Evans, and we used to go down there and we used to be recording a lot when Steve had got the studio, because he always believed in us too, you feel me? When he had got the studio, like, we was going there every night recording, man. Like, I probably put like 3 mixtape albums worth of music together in maybe 2 weeks. You know what I mean? With substance, you know what I mean? With me saying something. I was saying something, you feel me? 14, 15, I'm chilling with M-Easy. And my nigga Ab, we around that Five Bros on Southern Street out North Trenton. We was out wilding. So they I seen them coming from the corner, down by the corner of Calhoun Street. I seen them bent the corner, you feel me? So I'm looking out. I start backing up because I saw them coming up, creeping up on us. So as they coming up slow, they just speeded up. I turned around, I'm young, I ain't know that. I turned around and just walked straight in the store. Yo, that cop was moving so fast. By the time I had whipped out to put it behind the cereal, he was already coming to the aisle right there to see me and had whipped out. But it was 2 of them. And the second one was so thirsty that they both was running in. And he kind of knocked him out the way when he went to pull the pistol over. And then the second one grabbed me, started fucking me up and throwing me all over the place and shit. I never forget that shit. I was like 14. They tore my ass up. No, I don't drink. No, I smoke you under the table. You know what I mean? I don't really drink like that at all. I used to when I was younger, and I used to do a lot of wild shit when I used to be drunk when I was a teenager and a young adult. So that's what I mean. I wasn't no angel. You know what I mean? I was a little sneaky, little slick when I was younger. You feel me? Lying, stealing. And to be 100, that was all until I started making some of my own money. So when I think back, you feel me? All them times, you know what I mean? All the lies and stealing shit like that, that might have came from me not having a situation. But I never blamed it on that, you feel me? When I think back. Because once I started working and hustling and, you know what I mean, getting my own type of money and doing stuff, you know what I mean, I wasn't even, I ain't care what nobody else had. I ain't pay attention. I ain't got to lie to you neither, you know what I mean? Because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So I think a lot of the lies and shit, when people lie and cheat and steal, I think that just come from, you know what I mean, we don't be doing what we supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? When you get on your 1-2 and you do what you supposed to be doing and you working at doing that shit, you don't even feel the need to lie, you feel me? And you damn sure ain't got to take nothing from nobody else, you feel me? So, I mean, work hard for yours and, I mean, mind your business. That's how I live, you feel me? I mind my business and I work hard, bro, straight up. Shit, I realized over the years ain't none of us perfect, you feel me? Some people fall victim to substance abuse problems, gambling. Like, I was spending money on jewelry, like, but Like, I was like on another level with it. Anybody that know me and know what I'm talking about. You know, the jewelry that I bought as gifts for family members and, you know, for ladies who I was fortunate enough to be mine. Now, I mean, that don't count. Like, I spent thousands on jewelry, you feel me? From you know what I mean, just working, spending my checks on layaway, you feel me? Wasting so much money getting jewelry off throughout the years. And then, you know, going to get it, to see the worth of it and see how much it's worth. You feel like they got you, you feel me? You feel like you got at the end of the day. Because you pay $500 or $2,000 for a piece, depending on what it is. And then you take it back, and then or you should go to another jeweler or another jewelry expert, and they tell you that the worth of it is like probably 75%, 80% less than what you had paid for it. You feel me? So I had to learn off of that. Our culture, it was just part of the wave on our years. You feel me? And I think the 90s was like that too. But definitely anybody who from the 2000s, that was part of our wave. It was a big, big thing. And it was like, I feel like the more that you had, you know what I mean? The more you felt like you was doing something. You feel me? We know better now. You feel me? Like, I was nasty with that, bro. Like, I spent a lot of money on it. Because I ain't talking about large pieces like you see the entertainers with. I'm talking about $500-$600 rings, $300-$600 pair of earrings, and, you know, $700 charms, $500 charms, $1,000 change. You feel me? I'm talking about like that. And when we looked at it and did all the numbers, it was crazy. Like, even a few watches. We went through all the jewelry and looked at all the pics. Man, that shit was over about $40,000, bro. Straight up. We spending a lot of money on the jewelry because it really ain't no worth in it. No matter what you get, it ain't no worth in it. If it ain't a Rolex watch, it ain't worth no money. If it ain't gold with some weight to it, it ain't worth no money. You know what I'm saying? Like the diamonds, they don't really matter. They don't really look at the diamonds. I learned that. Clouded the diamond game, so they just looking at the metal, and it ain't nothing really worth nothing but carat gold, straight up. I was young, just moving too fast, bro. I did that from my teenage years all the way up till I had my daughter, bro. You feel me? So I had my daughter when I was 27, so I did that shit for like 10 years, bro. I'm glad I had started moving right and doing the right thing before I got too old, you feel me? Because some people can't come back from the spending. They don't get no chances or no more opportunities to, you know what I mean, make no real money or do nothing serious, you feel me? So like I said, anything I speak on, I'm qualified to speak on. I got the receipts with me, and if I ain't got the receipts, you can ask somebody who know me. Like me bouncing around the days and going to work and going to school, like, it don't work like that, and it wasn't working. So, you know what I mean? I sat down with the people at the school, and, you know, I ended up working it out, and they signed off, and I ended up going to Twilight and a few other spots that didn't work out. So I ended up going online. And, I mean, that's how I ended up finishing, you know, my whole school thing, you feel me? Like I said, they ain't graduate us in Granville, so it had worked out like that. I ain't get it till in the long run. Like, you don't know until you work outside and do hard work. Like, shit, we done worked in all weather. When rain, sleet, and snow. That's how it is when you got an outside job and you doing labor work. You feel me? Like, I know hard work. Like, I come from that. You feel me? Feet getting cold, hands numb. Niggas don't know about that kind of work. You feel me? That hard work. I mean, doing that labor work out in the cold. Hands getting numb, feet numb, still getting busy. Body warm, but your hands and your feet numb. You feel me? Like, that's a real thing. That's that hard work. That's that real shit. You feel me? Music or the documentaries that's made, and I got a lot of travel things coming. A lot of things that I done did over the past few years that I've been knocking out as far as production and as far as music like that. So everything we independent over here, you know what I mean? I go to Third State Studio to do all my music. My homegirl got Third State Studio. You know what I'm saying? We got El Mexico Films, that's coming. All this keep me busy, bro, you feel me? Between the detailing and the fashion. And now I got it to the point where I'm trying to start bringing other people in so they could play positions, you know what I mean, as far as working. I'm trying to stay in people's face, you know what I mean, so they know I ain't going nowhere, you feel me? We only gonna try to go up from here, straight up. Tell my music head, bro. So our New Jersey legends, I listen to all of them, from Redman, Joe Buttons, Poor Righteous Teachers, Be Legit, Goldfingers, shit, Fabulous, Stack Bundle, C Murder. The people I listen to was different. Shit, it was my mother that put me on to the fact that Queen Latifah, the Fugees, and Naughty by Nature, and Kool and the Gang, and all them was from here in Jersey, man. I came up on all of that. Yeah, I just got back from California. Like, even though it ain't got nothing to do with no gang shit. It's just something about California and Jersey. But yeah, I just came from out there linking up with some of my homies and some of my niggas, you feel me? making some music moves, some production moves. Now, I mean, we got a lot of footage and a lot of different stuff coming. Just trying to get all the paperwork right. Y'all know how that go. But yeah, I got to give a salute to all my homegirls. Fee, Tiff, TT, Eb, all of them, you feel me? My homegirl INZINGA, you feel me? Straight up, you feel me? Salute to all of them, now I mean? They know the type of shit I'm on, you feel me? I keep it solid with the homegirls, straight up. Feel me? Because when niggas was up and down and, you know, we be fucking up, homegirls was right there handling that with no problem, you feel me? They always been there for us, the jail shit, all of that, you feel me? So salute to all my homegirls from east to west. Or you feel me, shouting them out or, you know what I mean, telling you that's my friend or my homie or whatever like that. They all grown, you feel me? They all of age. They in their 30s or in their 40s. They don't bang no more. They don't hang in the street, you know what I mean? It ain't none of that, you feel me? So I'm able to say, shout them out and speak their name, you feel me? These people ain't committing no crimes, you feel me? Straight up. So, you know what I mean? I don't want people to get up on here and think I'm glorifying this and glorifying that and, you know what I mean, speaking people's names and doing none of that. Anybody I name on here, they adults, grown, working, doing they do. And I feel like they did their dues and they played their part. Now I mean, and they deserve recognition for the years that they sacrificed running around out here in the streets, you feel me? So that's the only reason why I mention them, because I feel like they deserve some type of recognition. And I mean, I recognize what they had did, you feel me? Like wake me up when it's over. They've been telling us 20 minutes. Pull the jackal up closer. Stargazing past the weed. Let the skunk work smolder. Punch my homie in the eye. Call my earthy a smoker. Wifey told me sit down. Take a minute to hold her. Feds hit us back to back and turn my ass to a loner. So much darkness in the light. The lies pastors had told us. Is it Jesus or Yeshua? Who you praying to, soldier? My grandma called him Jehovah and I was moving iota. Years putting in that pain, wasn't one day sober. I got tired of falling in love, shit fake like Stofers. Lil Buzzo from NOLA, I kill a nigga dead for her. You gotta let the kids live, they at the age now, they older. Taught my daughter be fair with Lil Becky and Rose. I got this ancient device, it felt like it stuck to my arm. With this penguin umbrella, held me down in the storm. I gave it all that I could, then I rang the alarm. He wasn't a smooth talker, but he died for that charm. Shit is all fact. Out this bitch by myself. They hit the crib, I sacrificed more white than the Celts. Trying to eat so many rats, had to move it in stealth. We gon' stomp you like coca leaves if you reach for your belt. Broke stuck, you ain't know cause I ain't asked you for help. That situation was holding me, something I never felt. I know the bros don't go for me, but I'll do it myself. No question they'll roll for me, knocking shit off the shelf. I made the love heart melt, brown skin, she a Choctaw. My fault, I take the consequences, y'all, it was my call. Know this shit all factory and these niggas are knockoff. We ain't cool.